what money do you have to make in order to be able to live a comfortable life? £520 every single month. And then I realized that literally I never have to work for anybody in my life anymore. I've sacked my boss. I become financially free. Hello and welcome. Just over 7 years ago, I was working as an accountant, and I was working really long hours in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, going nowhere. I was stuck in the rat race and I was really struggling. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I replaced my £1,700 active income to a £5,000 passive income. Now, just over 7 years ago, I was working full-time as an accountant, and I was in a job where I worked ridiculously long hours. I was undervalued, underappreciated, going nowhere, and I was really looking at ways to escape the rat race, because what I was told before I started university wasn't what I'm seeing in real life. So I realized really this wasn't for me. Not just for me, it would have put me in a situation where I would never ever going to be financially independent. So I took a leap of faith to actually start looking at what can I do to make money work for me instead of working for the money. So in this video, I'm going to share you what are the steps and formulas and strategy I use to moving from £1,700 to making £5,000 passively without actively working ridiculous long hours. So if you want to learn about this strategy, if you want to learn about what I'm going to share with you, I advise you to watch this video until the end. Do not skip it. Do not fast forward it. Literally watch it, because if you watch it, it will transform your life, because this is the exact thing I did to actually be able to make £5,000 passively when I start my investment journey just 7 years ago. So before we get going, if you like this video or any of my videos, don't forget to hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. So let me talk you through then. So in order for you to be able to achieve your financial freedom, your financial independence, the first thing you need to make, to be honest with you, you have to be able to make that decision. Here's the thing. If you're used to secure income, getting the same amount of money every single month, you know, you literally would find this easy thing to do very hard to do, because you've used to that security. For me, in my case, I'm used to getting £1,700 every single month, and so I was kind of comfortable with that. But because I was looking at the future, I'm looking at when I start having my family, etc., I realized that will not be even enough for me currently, not to say if I've got my wife and kids and people that I could look after. So I took the leap of faith to actually start doing what I'm going to share with you. So if you really want to learn about this, I suggest you literally, if you've not been taking notes in my videos, this video basically is the video that you want to start taking notes. So the first thing you'd like to do, if you really hate your job, you want to sack your boss, is doing this first thing. The first thing you need to be able to do is to work out what your basic needs are. Let me explain to you what that means. So I'm not talking about living lavish life here. I'm talking about what money do you have to make in order to be able to live a comfortable life. In other words, how much you can pay for your flat or your bedroom, electricity, gas, TV license, all your expenses like that, food obviously included. So you learn that, you know what that basic needs is, okay? So once you understand what that basic needs is, then you know that you have to be making money equivalent to that amount in order for you to be able to actually become financially free. In my case, I was on £1,700, but my basic needs was about £1,750. Again, that's just another reason why I told you working for people is not the right thing to do. Okay, so I knew that I needed £1,750. So what I then did basically is to look out there. I knew properties is what I wanted to do. I learned what I've been told since I was young is absolute garbage, because I was told I need 60, 70 or £100,000 to start my investment journey. I learned that I really don't need that one. I just need to know how to acquire these properties. So once I know that, I said, fine, fantastic, brilliant. And then I set myself a target then. I set myself a goal. I said to myself, how many properties do I need to get first to be financially free? So I knew that maybe I need about 3 to 4 properties to be financially free. Brilliant. So I knew that. So and then I set myself a target of how many properties do I need to achieve. So I set that target, and obviously I said about maybe 6, 7, or maybe 10 properties. I said, I can't remember correctly how many properties I said at that point. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is for you to know that you have to set that goal. You have to set gigantic goals in order to be able to hit where you want to go. So once I've done that now, once I've got my goals, right, I became specific on my goals. I knew then, for example, I needed 12 properties. And then I said to myself, then if I need 12 properties every single month, then I realized that if I need 12 properties, I would need to secure a property every single month. Okay, I needed to get that because in order for me to get the 12 properties. So obviously it wasn't viable at that case because at that point I've never implemented property strategies. I never know what I need to do, but I stuck to it. Okay, so what I then do basically is to go out and start looking for deals. So obviously it went very, very difficult first 2-3 months. You know, I wasn't able to secure any property deal. But what I did basically, I stuck to my course. I decided that I need to make this happen for me and my future family. So suddenly then what then start happening, I started acquiring properties. So I knew then I need to have certain amount of properties in order to be able to make this. So I secured 5-bedroom, 2 reception room property. So with those properties, I converted one of the reception room into a bedroom. That then gives me 6 lettable rooms. So obviously I rent that property out in average. Then if you rent that property out, that property was generating about £3,000 per calendar month by renting the property room by room basis. So basically I rented it out. I secured the property from the landlord back then for £1,500. So, and all my bills excluding the rent was about £898. Let's just say £900. So I know that my cost at that point was £1,500 I paid the landlord, and then obviously the £898. So that gives me a total of £2,398 to keep the property going. So what I then do basically, if you deduct that from your £3,000 gross rental income, you're making about £600. Okay, £600 was my net profit every single month. So I then realized that, okay, now in order for me to make this happen for me, I need to get at least 3 of these properties. So what I did basically, I fast forward my process. I have been educated, and now I know what I'm doing. I've got someone to guide me, help me through that process. So what I instantly expedited that process. From getting a 1 property, I bought my 2nd property. That gives me £1,200, and then I get the 3rd property. That then gives me £1,800. So I now know I've got £1,800 that I make from properties that I don't even own, because what I did basically, I rented this property instead of buying them. Okay, it reduced your cost significantly. That then just get rid of the myth that people were telling me, saying, oh, you need to have £70,000 or £80,000 to start investing. So I knew that was wrong. So I got those 3 properties. Those 3 properties making me £1,800. So what I then did, I know then I am financially free. I don't have to work for my manager in order to make passive income, because my financial freedom figure was about £1,700. So what I did, I still stuck to that job, but what I did with the proceeds I received from the 3 properties, I used that then to acquire other properties. Now I wanted to diversify a little bit. Then I started using a strategy called rent to service recommendation. Rent to service recommendation is the process by which an investor would rent a property from a landlord. Instead of renting it room by room, you rent it as a mini boutique type hotel, right? Like people know the word as Airbnb, basically, where people would stay for weekends, or where families or contractors and nurses can literally stay during their work or holiday if they are family. So I knew I wanted one of those properties. I knew I wanted those properties, and I know I need to go and get it because I set myself a target. So obviously I then went working there, secured my first property. The first property deal, basically at 55% occupancy rate, was generating me £40,000 a year. Okay, and my expenses was basically, I paid the landlord £800 because it was a 2-bedroom flat, and then my annual expense on that was about £9,600 on rent, and then obviously I have my running cost, which is about £15,586. So that then gets me a total expense of £25,186. So if you minus the £25,186 from the £40,000, that then gives me about £4,850 a year. Okay, that is a very, very, very good return on my investment. Okay, because basically I literally got the property for £800, and then obviously deposited £800, and then I did a little bit of TLC to get me to start making that sort of return on my investment. And then in average then I was making £1,240. Okay, so I know I'm making that much money now, and I was making about 1,800 on my rent-to-rent deal. So what I did, I combined those two revenue. Guess what? I went for another service accommodation property, and again I did the same thing at 55% occupancy rate. I was making about the same amount of money, which was about £14,850. So, and again I get the third one. That then become a snowball basically. So I now know I was making about total net profit on my service accommodation properties were about £3,715, and then in my rent to HMO properties I was making about £1,800. So if you add these figures together, I then hit my £5,500 figure was my magic figure. I did not just get £5,000 net profit passive income every single month. That then accumulated to £5,520 every single month. And then I realized that literally I never have to work for anybody in my life anymore. I've sacked my boss. I become financially free, not just financially free, financially independent, because I was making more money than I would need at my current situation. So that's how I've been able to replace my £1,700 income to 5,000 plus passive income every single month. Here's the thing, there are some important things that you need to take into account here, right? The key things I did here basically is to educate myself, finding someone who would help me expedite my process instead of Googling stuff, watching stuff in YouTube. The formula is basically, number one, I hated what I was doing. That was the first thing that literally triggers me. And the first thing I did basically is to look at my basic needs. How much money do I need to survive? How much money do I need to keeping on? So I knew I needed certain amount of money, and in my case was about £1,700, and my salary was £1,700. So I knew then I needed more than that. Okay. So the second thing I did basically is to set a goal. I set a gigantic goal about what I want to achieve, okay? And then basically I break that goal into chunks, and I set deadlines in those goals. I knew I needed to actually achieve these properties by this specific day. I knew I did not get it at the beginning because I was learning and things like that was happening, but towards the end I was able to accumulate all those 6 properties. What I did basically, I did what lots of people are not capable of doing. What that is, what I did was what lots of people are very fearful to do: taking action, executing what I set myself to do. So I sat down, I educate myself, I met the right people, and guess what? I execute every single thing I was taught, okay? And then obviously I had my first win, I had my second win, I had my third win, and then obviously then that then becomes a snowball, and then I start making £5,000 per calendar month every single month without actually working for someone. Look, if any of this make any sense to you and you want to learn on how to implement things like that, there's a link in my description below on this video. Click on that link, book yourself for a free consultation with me or my team to learn how we may be able to help you to move from making active income to passive income. If this video has been helpful, don't forget to hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next video. Thank you.